it's Carolyn Zook here with Zook Stitch, and today is Saturday, January 14th, 2023. Welcome to my channel about cross stitch. I'm really glad that you are here spending part of your day or your evening with me. I can't believe we're 2 weeks into 2023 already. That is just, the days just go by so quickly, so quickly. I'm wearing a t-shirt. It's bright yellow. My parents got me this for Christmas. Let me just show it to you. Eaton Park. The Place for Smiles, it says. This is a restaurant in the Pittsburgh area. I don't know if it's other places too in Pennsylvania, but as you know, I used to live in Pittsburgh, which will come back later on in the video, actually. So my parents got me this for Christmas, which I love. So if you're from the Pittsburgh area, I know that you will know what Eaton Park is. I love it. And it's kind of like a Perkins, maybe? Sort of. I don't know. I think that's a pretty good comparison. Anyway, we took down Christmas. It is very sad. I debated, usually I leave winter up because it's still winter, but I just decided to take it all down. So I just have my regular decor, except I always forget. Do you do this when you take down Christmas? You put it all away. You look around the room. You're like, all right, I got it all. I got it all. Put everything away. And then you come back inside and it's like, I forgot a piece or two. It happens literally every single year. So I have those couple of pieces left, but whatever, we'll get it later. But yeah, Christmas is down. I don't know why I took winter down. I was just like, you know what? In another 4 or 6 weeks, I'm going to have to take it down anyway. So I'm just going to do it all at once. So we are back in regular decor mode at this house. All right, you'll see here I have a cart. I bought this at Michael's right before Christmas. It's a very tall cart. It has 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me see if I can show it to you. It has 4 bins. And I bought it for Flosstube videos because I thought it would be a little nice to have it just right here and handy. So hopefully we'll see if that works out. But it's nice and tall, and it was like 25 bucks. It was on sale right around Christmas. So I built that this morning. I'm getting a bit of a later start than I normally am because I built that. And because I was having computer trouble. I was trying to pull the winners for the giveaway for the 4-year Flosstube anniversary and the 5K subscribers and all that. I was pulling the winners and my spacebar kept going on its own. And I was like Googling, trying to figure it out. I was restarting my computer several times, which meant I lost all my open tabs, which if you leave tabs open like crazy, you know. I had tabs open for my main job. I had tabs open for my teaching job, my side job. Turns out what it was, I'm such an idiot, you guys. So I have this standalone keypad. I work on I have a laptop. And so I have this that I use sometimes. And I had put the pile of giveaways on top of it without realizing that it was on. And the pressure from the pile of giveaways was pushing down my spacebar. Hey, I'm slow, but I get there, right? All right, let's get into the good stuff. All right, we have a bunch of Q&As this week. So I'm so excited that I'm excited that I got through all your comments because I love reading your comments. So thank you so much. And a lot of you have helpful tips and great questions. I just think we have really interesting conversations this way. So many of you gave me such great advice for the Happy New Year, which I had pointed out the satin stitches on there. I don't like my stitches. They don't look very good. And it's just been quite frustrating doing 1 over 1 and just a whole bunch of things. So Dawn, who knows me quite well, she's like, Carolyn, are you using 2 strands to do 1 over 1? And I wasn't going to say anything, but yes, I am. I tried it with 1 strand. I know you're all like, Carolyn, you can't do 28 count 1 over 1 with 2 strands. I can because I did it. and I'll show it to you later. I tried it with one strand and I really didn't really like it. I didn't like the coverage. So I know I'm supposed to. But apparently I'm in my rule breaking phase of cross stitch. So yes, Dawn, you were absolutely, Dawn, I don't know how you could see that. I just like the coverage better. So I did manage to do it. And I am quite happy with it. Marcia suggested a laying tool for the satin stitches, which I did not use. So that is a good idea, to use a laying tool. So I might go back and redo some of those stitches with a laying tool. Terry also said, you know, to try 1/1 using one strand of floss. And yes, Terry, I know. I know, but I'm not going to. And my dear friend Candy also said, hey, are you using a size 26 needle? Because sometimes I use 24, which is very big. I know. I really like something to hold on to, you guys. And I do use mostly 26s now. So thank you for all your tips and advice. That was really funny. Okay, Jay asked, would you ever work a chatelaine in a Q-snap? So Jay is working on Mirabilia and thinking about starting a chatelaine. I am working on a couple Mirabilias, and I have a very small start on a chatelaine. And I think this is a good question, and I'm going to ask you all what you have done. The question is more about when you get to the beading stage. I know with chatelaines, and I'm kind of thinking with my chatelaine, I might bead as I go, which means I would move it off. Right now it's on a Q-snap. I would move it off my Q-snap and onto my lap stand, so that I could bead as I go with the chatelaine. Mirabilia, the mirrors, I think I could just do the stitches and go back in and bead later, but I would probably also put it on a lap stand for the beading because I think there's a lot of beading in the Mirabilias. But I've never finished one, right? So I'm kind of talking about something I don't really know about firsthand. So we're curious, what would you do? So if you've finished or are working on Mirabilias and or chatelaines, do you bead as you go? 1. 2, do you do it in hand? Which was another suggestion. You could do the beading in hand. You just have to be careful with the tension. Do you put it on a lap stand? Do you use a Q-snap? We're just curious how you handle that. So if you can let us know in the comments below kind of how you do that, that would be really interesting. And I'm curious to see, because eventually, hopefully, the goal is that I will be getting to that point at some point. So I'm curious to learn. And Jay, also read through the comments as well, and we'll talk about it more next week too. I had 2 questions. Georgie and Christy both asked me, so I had shown last week, I didn't bring it up here. I talked about the Dimensions kit, a Christmas celebration. The kit that I bought originally was counterfeit, and I didn't know that until I saw it on Amazon as a Dimensions Gold kit. Or I don't know if it's Dimensions Gold, a Dimensions kit anyway. And both Christy and Georgie asked, well, how did you know that it was counterfeit? And I think this is a really good question, because it is something that unfortunately we run into from time to time as stitchers. For this, because I bought the kit, the counterfeit kit, before, this was my first piece back into cross stitch after 20 years or more away from it. So like I had maybe just started watching Flosstube. I was just like, oh, this is a pretty scene. I like this. It's a kit. Everything I need is there. So I'll just start with this. I now know, because the scene itself looks like a Dimensions scene. So like the style looks Dimensions. And then I was just looking on Amazon. I like to, once in a while, I'll go through, especially around the holidays, which is kind of what happened. I have an Amazon wish list that some of my friends and families like to buy from. And so, you know, they say, hey, is your wish list updated? And so I'll go in and look around and see if there's anything I want to add to it. Well, I like adding Dimensions Gold kits to it because it comes with everything you need, even though I change out the fabric. And I don't follow the rules for that either. But and so I like looking at because they have so many kits, and they're just, I think they're really beautiful. And so it was then that I was looking around just to see what else is out there that I saw the kit I had started. And I was like, when I saw it as a Dimensions kit, I'm like, that makes sense because it has that feel that it's a Dimensions kit. Sometimes it's hard. You just have to look for certain clues. You know, you can kind of Google around the image, do a reverse image search to see if anything else comes up. I mean, the longer you're stitching, and Georgie and Christy, I know you both have been stitching for a long while. So you just get to know kind of designer styles. There are Etsy sellers who are legitimate for sure, 100%. And then there are Etsy sellers who are not legitimate. Amazon, a lot of the Amazon kits I would be wary of unless it says it's a Dimensions Gold kit. Or the other one I got was the Kohler Design Studios. A friend of mine got it for me, and she didn't know, right? She got 4 kits. It was quite expensive, of Kohler Design Studios, and it was cats at, you know, 1 for each season. So there were 4 of them, and it was a kit. And I knew when I opened it was a surprise. It was not something I had asked for, but I really loved those, and I'd been meaning to get them. But as soon as I opened them, I knew, I haven't told her that they were counterfeit, what she got. And so I ended up buying the actual Kohler Design Studios because I wanted those charts anyway. And they don't sell them as a kit. They're just sold as a chart. So it's just kind of a familiarity. Sometimes that's hard to tell. So I mostly shop from sites or Etsy sellers that I know are legitimate, right? And sometimes I'll ask other people. I've asked Jan before, hey, is this, what do you think? You know, what are your thoughts on, like, is this Jan of Jan Hicks Creates? I'm assuming you all know who I was talking about. Like, what do you think about this? So I'll ask my friends, like, hey, do you think this is legitimate if I have any questions about that? So I hope that helps. I know it's a really important question, and sometimes it is hard. And I've made mistakes before, and I think others have made mistakes before as well. And then you just try to correct it, and then the best you can. So it's hard. It's hard out there. But I stick with like the sellers that I know and trust that are legitimate. Are legitimate. That came out to sound like illegitimate. So, you know, like Guyron Stitchery, if like you don't have a LNS near you where you can go, I mean, LNSs are going to be legitimate, I would hope. Amazon, I think, for me, has been the biggest culprit of getting counterfeit. I do know that there's some Etsy sites as well. And then there's some like random websites that, I mean, I get a lot of emails saying, hey, do you want to collaborate? And a lot of them are non-legitimate, which you can see if you look at the website. You can kind of just tell that if they're not giving credit to the artists. So like Heaven and Earth Designs is a great legitimate one. Pain Free Crafts, Charting Creations, all of those full coverage. Those are legitimate ones because they will say artwork by so-and-so, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I follow them on Facebook, so I know that they are getting artist licenses to change their work into cross stitch and then sell it, right? So they license with certain artists. If they aren't telling you who the artist is, I would, my red flags would go up. So hopefully that helps. We can have more conversations about this if you would like. If you have anything to add, you know, feel free. If you have other questions about counterfeit and legitimacy, I would love to talk about it. It's really just about making sure that the designers and the artists get the credit and the money that for their ideas, right? So I think I'm glad you asked that question because I think it is really important. And then the last question, Karen asked me, hey, whatever happened to Purple Rain? I really want to see it. Purple Rain is I'm doing Purple Rain Mini, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and I can't for the life of me remember the artist, speaking of. It's legitimate. I started it with Candy, the 614 Stitcher, in last June for Prince's birthday. Candy has been working on hers. She works on hers. I think she said she pulls it out on the 7th of every month because that was his birthday. That's the day we started it, June 7th. I worked on mine on the 7th and maybe a couple of days last June, and then I haven't pulled it out since. It is still an active whip, and it will be my focus piece, I think I said in June, because that's when we started it, and that's his birthday month. So it will be coming out. You will be seeing it. It is still an active whip. So thank you all for your questions and the discussions, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say. All right, let's get into the stitching. I had one new start this week, which was my winter montage. This is artwork by Janet Stever. So here's an example of how you can tell if it's legitimate. Winter montage by Janet Stever. It's charted. You can't really see that, but that's the Pain-Free Crafts. So they are giving credit to our artist here. This is what it will look like. I'm working on this with Stitching Mommy, Sarah. EJ is working on it. I know there's several others out there as well. EJ's doing hers a little different. She got the Janlin kit of this, which doesn't have the background. So if you see EJ's, I mean, she's already got a bunch of these leaves outlined. I don't have that. I'll show you my tiny little start. So this is where we're at. I went from 0% to 0.24%. And I have 362 stitches done on it. So this was one evening's worth of work, about 3 hours. And my goal is I'm going to work on this every Sunday for seasonal Sundays. From the winter montage, I will work on every Sunday through March. So that is where we're at. This is a fun one. I mean, it's just browns right now because I'm doing the background. And yeah. But I like it. And now, so officially all of the montage, each of the seasonal montages have been started. So that's exciting. Okay. I worked on Happy New Year, which is by the Victoria Sampler. This is my focus piece for 25/7, which is the brainchild of Melanie. It's called, her Facebook group is called Cross Stitch 25/7. It is open to anybody who would like to join. The idea is that you cross stitch 25 minutes a day or 25 stitches a day. What a lot of people are doing, sometimes that's all you can get in, right? That's perfectly fine. What I'm doing, how I'm using this is as an extra piece to help move some pieces forward, maybe to finish some smaller pieces, that type of thing. And because it's January, I thought I would work on Happy New Year. So I'll give it about 25 to 30 minutes every evening before I go on to my main piece. And we are right up here with this band. Okay. And this is where people were like, are you using 2 strands over 1 over 1? Yes. Yes, I am. Okay. So here's where we're at. Doesn't that look good though? I know that the music notes are a little thick, but when you look at it from back here, it's really going to stand out. And so I really like it. I have managed with the 1 over 1. I just took it slow. I think it's just like a brain muscle memory thing because I'm not used to doing 1 over 1. But I did get it figured out. And there are some over 2, or not 1 over 1, over 1, I should say. There are some over 2 as well. So it really kind of messed with my brain. But the band is done. The singers are done. There's a couple of like New Year hats that I need to go in. You can see I'm starting to put in the confetti. The music notes are done. There's a bunch more confetti and some streamers. And then this row will be done. So I think I can easily get this scene done this month because we still have 2 weeks left. And I'm going to continue working on it. I was a little disheartened at the beginning because I was like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. But I really, especially if you're looking at it from like 3 feet away, you can see everything. I really like it. I'm really happy with it. This was last week. I'm going to point out my mistakes, right? Where I was talking about my satin stitches just don't look very nice. It got better down here. So I might take, like, especially that second one in, I might take that out and try to redo it. And that one too. But yeah, I really love how this is turning out. And it's now enjoyable. I mean, it's still a challenge, but it's an enjoyable challenge. Whereas I think last week when I was talking about it, I was like, I am struggling with this. This is not enjoyable. Now it's an enjoyable challenge. So look at me growing and learning. Oh, this is on a, I don't know, 28 count something. I'm not sure what it's on. It's a linen. And the winter montage is just a 32 count Lugana because it's going to be a full coverage. Okay, so let's go into Bringo, the Bringo cause. So I worked on stained glass window. This is designed by Tangled Threads and Things. Oh, and it's from the April 2021 Just Cross Stitch magazine. That is what the cover looks like. This is what it will look like when it is all done. And my goal is to finish it this year on the sooner, like the first half of the year. I would like to get it done. So this one, the call for this one is stitch on something that will be a gift, because this will be a gift, and favorite whip. This may or may not, I mean, it's probably not my favorite out of all of them, all the whips I have, but it's one of my favorites for now, just because you could see how it's coming together. So I did a lot of work actually kind of carrying this down, kind of the yellows and oranges down. And then I went over here and did some fill-in, and then when it's called next, I think this is on my Bringo board 5 times this month. So I think I still have 2 or 3. I think I still have 3 more times this month alone that this will come out. And then I have the border, but I didn't do any more on the border. I just kind of want to get the inside done. There's a lot of, I don't know if I would quite call it confetti, but there's a lot of color changes in there to get this effect. And there's going to be a lot of back stitching. So like this entire border and like each line in there is back stitched just to kind of clean it up a bit. So I think it's going to be a lot. So I'm happy that I have it on my Bringo board so much this month to help just move it forward. Again, this was whip that will be a gift and favorite whip. So we got about 6 hours in. So it's really coming together. So this area down here is kind of the lilies. And then obviously you can see the outline of the cross. So I'm going to have to go back and do all that. But I'm kind of trying to get all the yellows and oranges done first. And this is on a 28 count, it looks like, French linen. What was the called for? Okay, next up was the prompt was favorite fabric, and I chose to work on Hearthside Christmas by Erica Michaels. This is the one, as you know, that I have struggled with. I am also in a better place with this one. It says, friends for your fireside, a wreath for your door, more pleasure at Christmas than ever before. Contentment and laughter, good times and good cheer, and peace to go with you all through the new year. So I had this first quarter about done. So I moved the Q-snap and I'm now working over in this like other top half here. And the favorite fabric, this is a color and cotton. I can't remember the color, but it's just a 32 count Lugana, which I love a good even weave. That is my favorite to work on. So what I got done, I did about 6 of these, or like 2 sets. So I think of them as sets. So like snowflake design. I did 3 of those sets because this motif is all the way around the border. I think this is part of now why I don't love working on this piece, because this is all the way around the border. This I did, I don't know, 3 of them, I think. This goes all the way across the top. You can see here, this will repeat, so there'll be holly. That one's not so bad because it's smaller, but these take a lot of time, and there's just so many of them. So I did 3 sets up here, then I moved and did 3 of these to get that done, and then I was like, you know what, I want to do some words. So I did fireside and door. So the words are all done. So I think that's moving forward, that's what I will do with this piece. I do want to get this piece done. This will be on my Year of Whips, which is also by Melanie Watkins. If you are interested in joining for Year of Whips, you can find her on Soulful Stitching. I'll try to remember to link it down below. Soulful Stitching on Facebook, and she's running Year of Whips. I need to take my pictures because you have to have your album posted by January 18th. So it's not too late to join. Basically, she has a YouTube video, but basically You pick minimum of 6 pieces. You can do more. I'm doing 12. And the goal is that you finish at least half of those by December 18th. So I'm going to have 12 pieces. My goal is to finish all of them, but we'll see. So this is where Hearthside Christmas is at. And this hopefully will be a finish for the year. Again, that one was favorite fabric. And this is also on my Bringo board. I think it's like 5 times maybe. So we'll be seeing more of that. Okay, next up was Winter Birds by Twin Peak Primitives. This is what it will look like. I think it's darling. Georgie just finished hers, and it's beautiful. Okay, so I moved the Q-snap too. So I have this all done. I finished this bird, and now we're kind of, so you won't see that part. That part's all done. So we're kind of moving over into this second half here. And I am just stitching this on a, sorry, something big almost fell over. 28 count Dove Gray. So I finished up this bird, and I did this fence, and I did this snow. This was for the prompt, a whip or new start you would take on vacation. I think this is a good one to take on vacation. It's pretty easy. It's on 28 count even weave. So it's a nice one to take on vacation. So next up will be the house. I have to build the house. There's some tree branches, and then there's that border that goes around here. And then this is also going to be on my year of whips, so I want to get it done. And then the big one that was called was a stitching shelf. This is artwork. So you see, again, going back to the counterfeit, this is not, because this artwork is by Amy Stewart. It's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is what it will look like. This is huge. I got the max colors, as you can see, which means there's, what, 220 some colors in here. It is insane. I started this with Kim from Stitch and Stuff and Tina from Tina Stitches and a bunch of other people who started it in August for World Cross Stitch Day. So mine hasn't come out a whole lot since then, but I did want it on my Bringo board. And you can see I have this mound of fabric here that's making it a little difficult. So this is where I got to. So I did some fill-in. You can start to see these flowers are coming in. And you can see this top part is pretty much filled in. What I do, I don't have a super rhyme or reason to how I stitch. I kind of just did whatever. I go until the thread runs out or I can no longer reach it. So I don't do columns. I don't do anything like that. But when I get to a certain point, like here, so last night when I worked on this, I would start trying to go back then and fill it in. So you could see this top part is a little bit filled in. The reason why it's not filled in more was because then I would take it over here and I would take it down here and all of that. So that is where we're at. So I actually worked on this twice. It was actually 2 days in a row, which was nice. One is for, the first prompt was a stitch on a piece that is out of season. And this is the spring band. So the chart, there are 4 bands and it's spring, summer, fall, winter. So this is the spring one. It's kind of hard to tell on this picture, but this is the spring one. So this is out of season for me because it is winter where I live, even though it's been feeling like spring because we've had like mid-50s. It's been very warm. And then the other prompt is somewhere you'd like to travel. And I would love to hop into any of these scenes and just sit and stitch and be surrounded by flowers and books and fireplaces and winter and all that. So this is somewhere I'd like to travel. So that is that. So the first day I got 297 stitches. Now this is very confetti heavy. And because there are so many colors, you're switching colors a lot. You have a lot of colors to dig through. A lot of my time was spent prepping the colors because as one would be called, if I didn't have it deskeined, I would have to do that. So 297 stitches. I went from 0.29% done to 0.36% done. That was the first night. And then the second night, which was last night, I got 300 stitches done. And we went from 0.36 to 0.44% done. So we are now at 0.44% done, which is not much. But that's okay. It is enjoyable. It is a different type, right? I almost hit myself in the face with it because it's a lot more confetti heavy than others. Now you can see there are some blocks of color here, but because this is max colors, it's going to get a lot of the detail. It's just going to be a lot of color changes. So it's a bit of a different style of stitching, I would say. This is on my Bringo board 2 more times. So we will be seeing it. I think it's for sure my largest whip, I know is the prompt. I can't remember the other prompt that it is on my Bringo board for. So that is everything that I stitched on this week. So that was fun. All right, let's do our giveaways. So thank you to everyone who commented and for all your well wishes on 4 years. It was such a joy to read through all your comments and to yeah, it was just wonderful. And I'm just so grateful for you. And I'm just excited to be here and getting to know you and making friends and all of that. So this giveaway is for 4 years on Flosstube and 5,000 subscribers that we just hit right around Christmas, I think, right before Christmas. So for these giveaways, please, I'm not going to repeat this each time because we have a bunch of them, 10 of them, I think. You email me your address at czookstitch@gmail.com. It is always in the drop-down box below if you forget that. But email me your address and I will get it sent out to you. Okay, first up was this Bunny and Bee by Teresa Kogut and Christy I can't read my own writing. Christy Donnay, Donnay, I think. It's a handwriting problem, not a you problem. So Christy, I need your address. Next up was Mistletoe Loitering Society by Lindy Stitches. And the winner of this is Melody Patterson. Melody Patterson. Super cute. All right. Next up is 1831 Christmas by Plum Street. And the winner is Lori Chappelle. Lori Chappelle. Next up was this kit, Biggie B, and it comes with the fabric and the floss. And Nancy Barris, you won this. I have your address already, Nancy, so you don't need to email me unless you've moved, but I have your address. Next up was Ink Circles. This is After the Roses. I also have this one. I grabbed this off of a freebie table, I think at StitchCon, and it comes with an 18 count ivory Aida to stitch it on. I think that would be beautiful. I already have this chart, otherwise I would keep it. And the winner of this is Linda Keith. Linda Keith. You also get this little one here, which I think is really pretty. Okay. Next up, this is another one that I got off the freebie table because I already have it. This is Lindy Stitch's Beautiful Things. Oh, my darling, it's true. Beautiful Things have dents and scratches too. And the winner of this is Kim. I love Eeyore 0130. Kim, I think I should have your address, but I don't. So if you can email me again with your address, please. Next up is Trimming the Tree by Bendy Stitchy. I finished this one recently. And the winner of this is Nina Thorin. Nina Thorin. Next up is a Mill Hill kit called Caroline, and it comes with everything you need, including that cute Scotty dog button. And the winner of this is Susan Ann Milikis. Susan Ann, I should have your email or your mailing address, but I don't think I do. So just to be safe, can you send it to me again, please? And then we have, here is a legitimate Dimensions Gold kit. This is Christmas Village Ornaments. I already have this. I found it on Amazon when I was, like I said, updating my Amazon wish list, and it was on sale. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to get it for you guys. So the winner of this is Elizabeth Pendleton. Elizabeth Pendleton, congratulations. And it's the whole kit. Everything you need comes in here. And then last but not least, we have, well, second to last, we have Winter Rose Manor. I couldn't find my copy, so I had to rebuy it. The winner of Winter Rose Manor, this is by With Thy Needle and Thread. Yeah, With Thy Needle and Thread, is Anne Musso. So Anne, congratulations. I have your address. And then, this is last but not least, I found another copy. I bought this 3 times. So I'm going to give away my second copy that I accidentally bought. And this will go to Connie K. Connie K. You won my second copy. All right. So that is actually everything. So again, congratulations to all the winners. And thank you so much for participating and just for being here and commenting. And you light up my life is really what you do. Okay, haul. I wasn't going to have any haul, actually, until Robin of Bird's Eye Stitches sent me an email. And she said, look at this. Did you see this? And I have seen it. I'm pulling up my iPad here. I have seen it because I've been eyeing it. And it was on my Christmas list. And I didn't get it, which is totally fine. I got the digital copy. You probably have seen, I don't know, I've seen targeted Facebook ads for this. I got the entire digital copies of The Gift of Stitching magazine. So when I was seeing it around Christmas, it was $50 for the entire, oh, we don't want that, for the entire set, which I thought was a good idea because it goes from February 2006 through 2010, I think. You get a lot of issues. Here's the first one. First issue. But then when Robin sent it to me, it was only $30 for all of them. So I said, okay, I can't really not do that. It goes through June 2012. So February 2006, mostly monthly. There's a point where they changed to every other month in 2011. I don't see a December 2011. Something's weird with the numbering. Anyway, it goes through 2012, May, June 2012. Now, I was looking through the first couple issues just really briefly. I didn't read any of the articles. They are short, right? So the first couple of issues, and I don't know if it continues this way or what, they might have 10 patterns in it. The whole magazine is maybe 20 pages long. So just, manage expectations, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But what I want to tell you also, they have really, these are from when designers, I don't know how long ago, but Kohler Design Studios. I was looking through this one because the cover caught my eye and I want to show it to you. I was like, let me look at the Christmas issues. So that he looks really cute and he looks very familiar because that's a Kohler Design Studio chart. The whole chart is in here, which I might already have it, I think, because I bought it. I think it's like the 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, but the whole chart is in here. Night Before Christmas it's called Scrapbook by Sandy Orton. Here's the whole thing. I either I have it or it's on my wish list. But you have the whole thing in there. There's a chatelaine. Now it's a smaller chatelaine. It's not like one of the big ones, but there's a chatelaine in one of these issues. So For $30, I think it's great. You know, even if you only stitch one or two of them, I mean, talk about entertainment and keeping you busy, leafing through all those issues just for fun. And there's a lot of like stories and that type of thing that I look forward to reading. So I'll try to link it down below so you can purchase it. It is on sale right now for $30. So there's your enable. I just downloaded mine into Goodreader on my, because I have an iPad. I do have a tablet, an Android tablet that is just for Pattern Keeper. So I didn't want to get it on there because this is my main iPad. Okay, so that's it for that I have for haul, and that was completely Robin's fault, and that happened last night. All right, let's talk about plans coming up for the week ahead. So I'm going to continue working on Happy New Year for my 25/7 piece. I'm going to continue working on Bringo. I do know that today's call, the prompt is remind you of where you live. And so the piece I chose for that prompt is Stained Glass Window. Now, I told you at the very beginning that I had a story about Pittsburgh would come back into our discussion today. I lived in Pittsburgh for about 4.5 years. That's where I went to grad school. And so Stained Glass Window doesn't necessarily remind me of where I live now, but it reminds me a lot of living in Pittsburgh. They had a lot of beautiful old churches. We went to, there was one church that they had renovated into a brewery, like restaurant and brewery, which we really liked. It was really excellent food, really good beer. It's called Church Brew Works. And that they still preserve the stained glass windows. So that is how I am choosing, how I'm tying that in to remind you of where you live. It reminds me of somewhere where I did live, stained glass windows. So I'll be working on that tonight. I'll be working on my winter montage tomorrow because it'll be Sunday. Next weekend already is the first 24 hours of cross stitch weekend. I will still be filming, but we'll be maybe partway through the weekend by the time I film. And I think how I'm going to handle it this year, this is my grand plan, hopefully it will work out, is that for this month, I'll do my 3 hours of whatever the Bringo call is. So I aim for 18 hours. I think I did 24 hours once, but I just can't do that anymore. That's like stitching for 8 hours a day because it runs Friday through Sunday. And I just have so much other stuff going on. So I aim for 6 hours a day. And so I'll do 3 hours for the Bringo call, and then 3 hours each of those days, I'm going to work on Cardinal Cottage. So I think that is what I'm going to do this year is when we have 24 hours of cross stitch, I'll try to get 9 hours or so in on Cardinal Cottage. I'll swap between Cardinal Cottage and Cat Alphabet. So that's my plan for 24 hours of cross stitch weekend next weekend. I will be back though and let you know how that is going. And then January 29th, which is a Sunday, is a 1-day retreat at Acorns. There's also a Zoom option. I'm pretty sure the in-person is already filled up. I'm not sure if the Zoom still has spots available. The phone number for Acorns is always down below, so you can call them and ask. But I'm just curious if anybody local or not local is going to be there, either in person or on Zoom, if you're going to be at the Gathering of Nuts, is what they call it. Just a 1-day retreat. So I will be there, and I'm super excited to go and see what the project is going to be and all of that good stuff. We have done 1 week of classes for my side job. So far, it's going much better than it went last quarter. And the new semester for my main job starts on Tuesday. I'm so grateful I get Monday off work. I'm going to do a bunch of cleaning around the house and just try to get the house in good shape for starting the new semester. So that's super exciting. Yeah, so that's what we have going on here. We are back in the rhythm. The holidays are over and we're kind of moving forward. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.